What's going on, everybody? It's favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we are going to talk about why time is essential, the importance of time when it comes to getting a guy to regret losing you. Not only that, how much time is needed before he comes back feeling like an idiot, okay? Very important video. So, jumping right into this, why is time so important? It sounds obvious, and I think a lot of people are automatically going to assume, but you know, your boy likes to give a little more depth. But a lot of you are going to assume, well, duh, it takes time. He has to regret losing you. You know, he just broke up with you. That's all true, but there's a lot of things that happen and unfold in a period of time. And I don't think a lot of women play it out long enough, or as long as they should, to get the results they want. Now, disclaimer, just because you hold out a long period of time doesn't necessarily mean he comes back. However, I can promise you something, the shorter amount of time before you reach out, you do this, you do no contact, you interact with them, you respond to a share, or whatever it is, he's never going to come back. He has no reason to come back. Now, when I say come back, I mean come back and be with you. He still might interact with you, but if you're interacting with a guy who doesn't want to be with you, then you have to safely assume he wants the assets. If I'm still talking to you, but I'm not your boyfriend, I'm here for the assets. You have to keep that in mind, ladies. Now, with that being said, a lot of women will come to me in the beginning of their breakup, or whenever, whatever his name is, Abraham. Whenever Abraham pulls away, weird name, sorry. She will talk to me the first week, the second week, and say, Abraham broke up with me. I don't know what to do. I'm trying no contact. It's only been a week and it hasn't worked. And I'm like, cool, great, awesome. Like, that's a good start. But I think women lose the battle because they're so dependent on no contact working, on being cold, on getting a result from what they're doing. And what they don't realize is the fact that you're talking to a guy who feels better, like at this moment in time at least, he feels that it is better for him to be without you than with you. How do I know that? Simple. The results, the evidence, what is happening right now. You're talking to a guy who everything up to this point he is reflecting on, meaning the day you guys met to the day you guys broke up. He reflected on all that while laying in his effing bed. And he thought, you know what? It's better for me to go out here. It's better for me to do this. You're trying to compete with a guy who has no outcome dependency on what's going on here, okay? While you're very dependent on the outcome and you're expecting to get some type of power back. Ladies, you are not going to win the battle of time. You're not going to win the battle of regret if you're outcome dependent, if you're doing it because you care so much about getting him back. And the reason I'm bringing this up is, you might think, what does this have to do with time? Is because over this period of time, you're going to miss him. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to get emotional. He might reach out and you're going to cave in. You're going to give it to him. You can't do that, ladies. You will lose. But anyway, what I'm getting at with this is in the first 2 weeks, you should never be hearing from it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but do not be shocked at all for the first 2 weeks. I'd even say a month, ladies, from not hearing from this guy. Do not be shocked at all. Why? Because like I said, everything up to this point that he's reflected on, he feels it's better without you, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean it's true, but that's his perspective. Maybe the best thing that ever happened to him. We're trying to get him to see that. We're trying to get to see him that your sugar walls are extra sweet, okay? We're trying to get him to see that you're a good-ass woman, a high-value woman. That you're not weak, you're not needy, you just care, right? It's coming from the heart, it's genuine. We're trying to get him to see all that. But again, when a guy's with a woman so long and a woman so giving, so loving, he takes that for granted, okay? So in the first month, you're not going to see him come back and chase. Again, not saying it doesn't happen, but you may not see it. Why? Because up to this point, he has to live out the consequences, and I don't mean consequences as something bad, just the cause and effect. Like, he has to live out his decision, which is what it's like without you. And he believes it is better without you. So he has to go out and experience that. That's the first month. Then after that, there's going to be a lot of time. Now, this is, I would say, is anywhere between like month 2 and month 4, okay? And that might be a long time. I'm just saying, it's the truth. Usually it's within 2 months all this happens. A guy is going to reflect on things. That's inevitable. That's the good news. He's going to reflect on everything. He is going to second guess stuff. He is going to wonder if he made the right decision. That doesn't mean he made a wrong decision. He just has to reflect on it. It's human nature. That's how we learn. We reflect on things. He is going to get lonely. He is going to reminisce about you. He is going to wonder what you're up to. He is going to sneak around and ask through the grapevine, or look at your stuff without you knowing, or through fucking accounts, different accounts. He's gonna kind of like go through and see what you're up to. Doesn't mean he's going to come back though. However, if you want to increase your chances, which by the way I have a guide on this, no contact. I have a very in-depth guide on no contact, everything you need to do, male psychology, if he really likes you, all that is down below the guides. Get the guides. But it's all going to magnify your chances of getting him if you do all those things correctly. If you aren't reaching out, if you aren't responding, if you're leaving him on red, maybe not even seeing it, if you're never looking at his social media, right, but he's looking at yours. A guy's wondering, if you're not looking at his stuff, but he's looking at yours, right, there's still something there that you could build a spark on. Now, I'm not saying take advantage of it. I'm not saying post extra raunchy things or extra things. Just do you. Just be normal. Any action you do to try to gain your advantage on him, there's an opportunity for him to see it as, I still have the power. Because you have to understand, if he's the one who broke up with you, and you're the one who wants the relationship, and you're the one who's up to this point has showed how much you really like him, and he's the one who left, he believes he has the power still. He believes he has the power. He believes he has you. He believes he can come back and do whatever or come back and get back in whenever he wants. The job with no contact, and again, that takes time, is to prove that otherwise. And I don't want you to do it to try to get him back. I want you to do it because you're a high-value woman. You respect yourself, and you're like, I'm done with this shit. I'm done. I don't want to deal with this, right? And then you actually have to follow through. The more convincing no contact is, again, guide below, the more convincing it is, the more it is in your favor that he's going to come back. Now, with that being said, the importance of time also is the bluff, meaning, I say in all my videos on regret, you have to be a really good actress. A guy knows what you're doing. We're not stupid. It's almost like I have your game plan, okay, and you have my game plan. We read each other's game plan, and then we give them back, and then we try to find out who has the better counter to the other person's game plan. You know what he's doing. You should know that he's calling your bluff. He also knows that you're bluffing. When you're pulling no contact and you're leaving him on red and you're doing this and you're doing that, he knows what you're doing, okay? But it only becomes convincing when you do it for a long period of time, you don't cave, and then one day he realizes, oh shit, she's actually done. Like, she's over it. Like, she's done with it. Especially if you look like you're moving on with your life. If you do that consistently, it is more convincing. It is more likely this guy is going to come back, okay? So I can't stress the importance of time, ladies. It's what it represents. It's not just, oh, he'll come back in 2 weeks, or maybe it takes 2 months for him to realize. It's not about that. It's how things, it's context. It's how things unfold and how things look as time goes on. Because as time goes on and you're doing everything wrong, it could be a finite amount of time. And he still is like, fuck, it's been a year. I still know I can come back because she's still fucking on my ass. She still answers my text. She still reads all my fucking messages. I know I have. You cannot give a guy that opportunity. Ladies, men are very resourceful. If I know I have you, why would I invest in you? Why? Now you might say, well, because he really likes me. Well, yeah, that's true, but that's more in terms of a couple. That's more in terms of a relationship. He doesn't have to do it if he knows he has you. It's just wasted resources. Why would I take you out and blow up your shit and prove myself when I could just get the same result by asking you to come over and hang out? Let's talk about it. Like that kind of shit. Don't fall for it, ladies. Time is more important than you think. Time is more important than just, oh, it takes a matter of time before he realizes he loses me and that takes 2 months. No, it's what is represented in that time. It's how things look over time. If you can consistently show that, hey, I'm fucking done with it, dude. And again, links down below to those guides. I'm done with it. Then he is more likely to get convinced, especially when he's going through the stages. And like I said, he's second guessing things, he's reflecting on it and stuff like that. And then up to everything you're doing up to that point is correct. He might look at it and be like, oh shit, yeah, I'm a moron. And yes, ladies, that does happen. So if you want to get a session with yours truly, link down below. If you want to get all 6 of those guides, again, links down below. I love you all. Take care and peace.